Oh.
Genius billionaire playboy from
Why so serious?
I wish I knew how to quit you.
You talking to me?
Life was like a box of chocolates.
You can't handle the truth.
I see dead people.
Say hello to my little friend.
Here's Johnny.
You're gonna need a bigger boat. I'll be back.
Hey, welcome to Picture This, everybody. Another week, another movie. I'm hosting. My name is Matt.
Kayla.
Dan.
Hey, thank you for joining us. We are finishing up the Mother's Day round of this show. Still, heads up, Sunday is Mother's Day. This is the last heads up you get. But we're finishing up the Mother's Day round with the movie The Horse Whisperer. It was my mother's favorite movie. We each went around and did our mother's favorite movies. We've done What Dreams May Come, we've done The Wizard of Oz, and now we're ending it on The Horse Whisperer. But before we get there, how was everybody's week? How are you guys doing?
I'm okay. It's been a long week. Pretty much same as Dan's. But you know.
That happens a lot. You guys have kind of the same week.
Yeah, you gotta fake it till you make it, actually. That's my motto in life.
No, but definitely had, interesting week. Just to go ahead and put the needle in it, we did. I ended up in the hospital, was it 2 nights ago? So hopefully get some things checked out and get on the mend here soon. Outside of that, I guess we've started watching a couple things. I don't know if we've watched or finished.
No,
What did we finish?
have. Did we talk about last week that we watched or we finished The Family Man? Do you remember that?
No, you said you started it, but you hadn't finished it yet.
No, we finished it. We've
week later.
seen it before. Great movie. Freaking fantastic. Nicolas Cage in the movie. I love him in that movie. What else did we watch? We watched something else. Oh my
Started
God.
watching Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, yes. We're like about 3/4 of the way through it. Why did we not finish that? We rented that.
I don't know how you guys start movies and then just stop them.
Yeah,
And then I guess we also
it's
started.
me.
Yeah, we
It's-
also started Ghost Town with Scarlett
Oh, yeah,
Johansson
Ghost.
and all that.
Ghost World
Maybe it's Ghost World. I'm sorry, Ghost World.
with Scarlett Johansson. It's actually pretty good. We
Huh.
finished another movie. Oh, was it the Horse Whisperer?
Yeah, well, the one we're here to talk about today, we actually watched.
It probably was, honestly.
Spoilers, guys. They watched The Horse Whisperer.
Yeah, it's been a long week. Please excuse us.
Yeah, but how's your week, Matt?
I'm doing good. Week was good. It was long. Everything's okay. Everything's the same. I finished up Euphoria, Kayla.
Ooh.
Last week I mentioned that I just started it. Well, I went ahead and just
Binged
binged
it.
the crap out of it.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Dan?
I said you binged it. That's crazy.
Oh, I binged it. Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, the male genitalia did not go away. It was still there in full force. But I enjoyed it. And I see now why a lot of people are giving Zendaya, the praise.
Yeah.
Because I've only seen her in Spider-Man. And she's great in the Spider-Man movies. But I didn't see anything, wow.
Yeah.
There was an episode in season 2 of Euphoria, episode 5, and I didn't even make notes, like I just had it ingrained, that she was, mild spoilers, she was coming off of she was going through withdrawal, and oh my God, it was some of the best acting I'd seen.
Oh, yeah.
And she's phenomenal.
Yeah. And for the first season, she won an Emmy for it.
Did she really?
Yeah, she did. And she was like the youngest person in a TV series to win an Emmy or something like that. So hopefully this year she gets nominated, because yes, I agree with you. She is like, I don't know how she does it, but she is phenomenal.
And
like,
the facial expression she makes, like sometimes had me cracking up. Like the facial.
It's amazing to think that someone is able to portray these characters and these emotions, because all of them are good. There's not like a bad person in that show.
Oh no.
And it's just like, it's amazing what they can pull off in a show. Like, you know, it's not necessarily, it's not a good show because of like the topics. It's a good show because these actors bring it, bring it to life.
Brutally honest.
It is. And that's, there's like things I think that everybody going through high school or what have you, in some instant can relate to or have felt a certain way. And it's, it's great. I mean, I think the hype is real. So
And it did feel very real. Like, I mean, it's been a while since I've been in high school, but it felt, I mean, I don't keep up with the kids today, but I have younger people in my life, and it felt real to like things that I would hear them say or things that I know that they've talked about, or like it felt very realistic. So,
and while we're riding this, man, we got to tell you another TV show for you to check out if you haven't already that we started watching. Are you familiar with the show From?
No.
It's on the first 2 episodes or 3 episodes are for free on Amazon Prime. I don't know. Did you ever end up watching Midnight Mass?
No.
I'm gonna say it has a similar feel to that, but it is very, very good. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
No,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
Somebody go.
It's like Lost, but like Lost. I don't want to give it away. Lost with monsters, like scary monsters, I guess, kind of. Okay. But it's a really good show. Like, you should watch the 3 episodes on Amazon. Like, I don't like scary stuff, but it's scary, but it's so good that it's scary. Like, you want to watch it. So.
Wow. I also finished Ozark. Ozark, the final episodes, like the no more, done, finito. Netflix released their final episodes this past Friday, and I binged that as well. So that series is over and done. It will be missed. Went out with a bang, quite literally.
Did it? I've heard like stuff like people talking about it. So I know it's like this. We've never. Well, have we watched any of that? Like 1 or 2 episodes?
A couple episodes, but I don't think
really
we got into it.
You gotta stick with it and get into it because it's good. It's up there. But that's all I did and watched this week.
Binging a whole thing of Euphoria is kind of...
It was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I didn't hardly anything else. I spent the entire weekend this past weekend with Euphoria and Ozark. I was with those shows full force, 100%. So, well, I guess if that's that, before we get into this movie, we got news, and we got lots of it. So much so that I'm just going to try to get through as quick as possible. We were talking before the show. If anyone has input they want to say, feel free to raise a hand or just cut me off. You won't offend me. I'm just going to go from one thing to the next, because the news literally started moments after we stopped recording last week and has not let up yet. So I'm sure as soon as we finish this, there'll be more. But so some of this is a week old is what I'm getting at, but some of this is still fresh. So we're going to start off with the Weird Al Yankovic movie starring Daniel Radcliffe. They released the first trailer. I think you guys are frozen.
Are we frozen? You're
definitely frozen. Dan, you're looking kind of scary there, bud. Oh, you just unfroze. Okay. Okay. So anyway, you guys are unfrozen. Yeah, first trailer for Weird Al Yankovic starring Daniel Radcliffe dropped. So if you haven't seen that, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. Final Destination 6. It's a thing, and it's coming to HBO Max. We don't know if it's going to be a reboot or a remake or a direct sequel, but what we do know is that John Watts, the director of all 3 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies, is going to be producing this. So he's involved. That gives me a little bit of hope. but really, even the worst Final Destination films weren't that bad. So it could be fun. Soap opera fans, Jerry Verdorn, sorry if I said that wrong, from Guiding Light and One Life to Live, has passed away at age 72 after a battle with cancer.
Oh.
So thoughts and prayers to his family. We all know about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. It is, I guess, from what I understand, it has been confirmed after a petition to have her removed from Aquaman, the upcoming Aquaman 2. From my understanding, Warner Brothers has cut all of her screen time with the exception of 10 minutes from the film. Take that as you will. Remember a couple weeks ago, I said I was watching Jackass Forever? Well, it was so successful on Paramount Plus that they're bringing the gang and crew back together, not for a movie, but for a show. They're reviving the Jackass show with the original, at least some of the original cast members, Johnny Knoxville included, are heading back to do a Jackass revival show. So if you're a fan of Jackass, which I was never a fan of the show, but I dig the movies because they're stupid, but I can do a hour and a half stupid movie versus a whole show. Dan, I'm very sorry. Last week, you brought me the news that they were doing a Wonder Twins film. This week, Warner Brothers announced that they are canceling the Wonder Twins film. It is not happening now.
No KJ Apa.
No KJ Apa. No whoever the other lady was. But Warner Brothers reportedly has canceled the Wonder Twins film. There it is. So that will not be happening. Perhaps one of the biggest news segments of the week was that Justin Lin, who has directed Fast and the Furious 3, 4, 5, and 9. No, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 9. Took a break with 7 and 8 and then came back and did 9. Has started directing number 10, which is being called Fast X, X for 10, Roman numeral, but quit in the middle of production, walked off set, reportedly due to a huge argument with Vin Diesel. But let me see. I think I thought I saw where, maybe it's later on in my news, that they had a replacement director already, but
so it was kind of expected, maybe, or maybe they just had like an assistant director and like,
I don't. The guy that was doing it, I recognized, but I don't have it written down. So maybe it'll come further on in my notes. Don't Worry, Darling, the Harry Styles and Florence Pugh movie released its trailer, and I'm there for it. It kind of looked like a sexual thriller, borderline horror at times type thing from what the trailer gave me, and I was like, "Ooh, okay, you have my attention." So, there it is. Marvel director replaces Justin Lin on Fast and the Furious. So, what's his name? Of course, it's something. Louis Leterrier, take it with what you will. Who directed the Marvel movie The Incredible Hulk way back in the day, has replaced Justin Lin as the Fast X or Fast 10 director. Lionsgate has struck a deal with Peacock. So now when Lionsgate films are released, such as John Wick 4, the Hunger Games prequel they're doing, the Expendables 4, and a few other movies that aren't really known as of yet, they will do their normal theatrical release, and then within 45 days they will appear on the old Peacock. So that's a thing. Oh, the Nicolas Cage movie was a big one. Whatever the thing with Nicolas Cage is where he plays himself, Massive Talent.
Way to Massive Talent.
Yeah, so that'll be on Peacock within 45 days after it leaves theaters.
Well, that'll be good.
We're gonna get Peacock. Hey, wait, didn't we get it from my parents?
Yes.
Sweet.
No, you didn't hear that.
Just whip the old Peacock out and watch some Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
John Watts, who we just mentioned a little bit ago, he's the director of the 3 Spider-Man movies, was set to direct Marvel's version of, or the MCU version of the Fantastic Four. Well, he has stepped away and is not going to be directing that now. The rumor and innuendo online is that perhaps he's doing it to take a break before stepping into the 4th Spider-Man movie. So we'll see what happens there. Bill Murray responded to those allegations that we talked about last week. I'm not going to get into the whole quote, what he said. I had the whole quote here, but because of everything we've got, I'm not going to get into it. But basically, he said it was a joke, something he said with a cast member unknown or a crew member unknown but it was taken the wrong way, and he's working to try to fix the problem and hope that they can resume filming, because as of right now, the film is at a standstill. So good on Bill Murray for trying to make it right. What else we got? Remember that movie with Will Smith, Bright, on Netflix? That was kind of weird.
Yes.
They were making a Bright 2 on Netflix with Will Smith.
No, I did not know that.
Well, they were, but now they're not.
Oh, snap.
Bright 2 has been canceled by Netflix, although they claim the Will Smith Oscar incident had nothing to do with it. Right. Tobey Maguire has been cast to play Charlie Chaplin in the film Babylon alongside Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie. So
interesting.
MCU, we've mentioned it. Kevin Feige, the brilliant mastermind behind the MCU, has revealed that he has storylines planned out for the next 10 years of Marvel films, taking us up to 2032. 2032, that just blew my mind saying it. So the man's a genius. He's already took us through the first 10 years plus. I guess he's taking us for another 10 years. That's a lot of Marvel films, folks. Speaking of, Doctor Strange, I believe, is out, or
no, 2 days.
2 days. Okay.
2 days.
I've seen, I guess, early things. I've seen like a lot of like early places like reporting things like reviews and stuff. So I guess it's about to be out. By the time you're watching this at home, it's out. Go watch Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. More on the music side, but she did act in some like Hallmark type films. Country music legend Naomi Judd has passed away. It was confirmed that she mental illness and unfortunately committed suicide the day before she was set to be inducted into the Hall of Fame for country.
And she was going on a tour, wasn't she, with her daughters or something?
Perhaps. I'm not sure about the tour thing, but I do know like she died on a Monday. No, what is today? Today's Tuesday. So she died on like a Sunday, and then Monday she was supposed to be inducted to the Hall of Fame. That's tragic whenever someone loses a battle with mental illness. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Judds. Of course, her daughter Winona, also a singer in the country world, and then Ashley Judd, the actress, is also her other daughter. Nicolas Cage says that phone calls have been made and talks have been started with a Face Off 2. Steve Carell's Space Force show on Netflix, after 2 seasons, has been canceled. The John Wick spinoff, Ballerina, I believe our former news reporter guy reported that a few months ago, or maybe a month ago, starring Ana de Armas, will begin filming this summer.
Wow.
And I think that's set to be an HBO thing, I believe, if I remember correctly. Neil Adams, famous comic book artist who did many famous Batman comics, also passed away this week. A lot of death this week.
Oh my gosh.
Ellen DeGeneres has filmed her final Ellen DeGeneres talk show episode. Of course, she announced last year that this was her final year. So all of her episodes have been filmed and she is officially done. They will, of course, continue to air until the last one premieres. Another talk show host is done. James Corden has announced that he is leaving the Late Late Show. I kind of always figured he would eventually move up to like how, kind of how like the Late Late Show guy moves up to the Late Show. And, when the other guy retires, kind of how it happened with Letterman and everything. I kind of figured, especially with him, he's hilarious. I thought he would surely do something else. Maybe he will do something else, but he will no longer be doing the Late Late Show as of 2023. So he's got one more year in him, and then he will be stepping away. Come on. A Quiet Place 2, the spinoff, or not Quiet Place 2, sorry. The spinoff for A Quiet Place officially has a title. It will be called A Quiet Place Day One. So obviously it's going to be a prequel about how it all began. Your Mission Impossible 7 title, should you choose to accept it. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Now, reminder, Part 8 is supposed to be the last movie of the Tom Cruise franchise. So Dead Reckoning Part 1 and I guess Dead Reckoning Part 2 are the final Mission Impossible films. Andrew Garfield has announced that he's going to take a little break from acting. He's not retiring. He just wants to be a bit ordinary, was his direct quote. But ensured fans that he would be back, and it's just a minor, he called it a vacation, I think in like London, or I don't know where exactly he's from, but I know over there in the UK, a vacation is like could be anywhere from a week to months. So he's taking a little break, but he'll be back. The Walking Dead, that show that seems to literally be Walking Dead at this point, will just not die, is on its last season, but they announced like a year ago all these other shows that were coming after. There was a Daryl and Carol show. There was oh yeah, well, stay tuned on that, because that's what I'm getting at. But they announced like more seasons of Fear the Walking Dead, which is already on. They announced a third show, which I don't remember what that's about, but like there was, even though the main series was ending this year, they're on their final season with, I think, only a handful of episodes left. There was going to be more shows. Well, this week, Melissa McBride, who plays Carol in The Walking Dead, announced that she would no longer be participating in the Daryl and Carol show. So if you really had high hopes on seeing Daryl and Carol get their own show, it ain't going to happen.
Did she say why, or just no?
She wants a break from the character and from, I guess, the series. She wants to do other things, from my understanding. Has nothing to do personally with The Walking Dead, at least as of right now. It hasn't been revealed that that's the case. It just, I mean, she's been playing that character for
a long time,
over 10 years now.
Yeah.
She was in the first season when that happened in 2011, I think. So it's been a while. We got the first look at Margot Robbie as Barbie. So if you didn't see that, you can see her. It basically just looks like Margot Robbie sitting in a pink car.
Oh my gosh, I missed all the news.
Well, this is why we're here. But we are wrapping up. We're almost done. Because I remember this was toward the end. Actually, my next thing is the last piece of news. And it was the first thing that broke after we recorded last week. The Batman, Dan, is getting a sequel.
Oh, that's right.
Warner Brothers officially announced that the Batman 2 is happening with Robert Pattinson and the whole team. It was announced at CinemaCon, sorry. And the entire cast and crew is expected to return. So more details to come on that. But that is the news.
Very well
Yay
done.
for the news.
That was a lot, guys. I'm sorry. That was a lot, but I'm going to, before we get into the movie, which we are getting to, I promise, we're going to turn it over to Kayla this week, who's got the stats for this movie. Kayla, tell us about The Horse Whisperer.
I'm going to stall you just for a minute, Matt. I just want to say you did a wonderful job on the news. Definitely really excited about most of what you went over, especially when we're talking about the Batman and all that kind of stuff. And now she's got the stats ready
Yeah,
to go.
he's got a Batman shirt for every day of the week. Can you believe it?
You have a different Batman shirt for every day of the week?
He's got 2 so far.
Oh, I was going to say, you're really dedicated to this.
Okay, so I'm going to be your stats person again, because I think I was a stats person last week, and I might have did a terrible job, but here we go again. Anyway, so it is The Horse Whisperer that came out in 1998. It is starring Robert Redford, Scarlett Johansson, Kristen Scott Thomas, and some other people. So this movie got a 6.7.
You left out Sam Neill.
Oh, what the heck?
We always leave him out, man.
Oh my God, he's like way
him
down.
Him and Michael.
Michael Caine.
Michael Caine. Why do terrible?
He was like way down the list, but granted, he's like literally in for like 10 minutes of screen time, like seriously. But here we go. Okay.
Arguably.
Okay.
15.
Okay. Yes. Okay. So this received a 6.7 out of 10 on IMDb, 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, 85% of people like this movie. I'm trying to see what some other, of course I have it on here. I'm sorry, I'm trying to see how much it made. So the budget for this film was $75 million. Wow.
What?
I wonder if Robert Redford like took a big chunk of that. If that's why, I don't know, but that's like a lot. Probably training that dang horse.
I would imagine half of it has to be going to the horse and the horse effects. And,
yeah, they had 3 different individual horse trainers working on this, all of which were legendary, which we'll probably talk about during my review, but go ahead.
So this brought in $186.9 million. So, I mean, over $100 million profit. So that is a good profit.
Yeah.
Its running time is 170 minutes. This is a very long movie. This was released, like we said, in 1998. And it received generally positive reviews from critics when it was released. And that 186 million was worldwide, not just US, worldwide. Do we really go over anything else? You could have found this movie on Tubi for free, but it expired this weekend, but you can find it on Amazon for $3.99 to rent. But make sure you watch it in 48 hours.
There it is. Thank you for the stats. We're going to hop right in. I've been talking a lot, so I'll try to keep this short. This was my mom's pick. This was my mom's favorite movie. I've known of and seen this movie a lot as a child growing up. As I mentioned last week, throughout part of my life, I grew up on a horse farm. My mother has horses even to this day. She is a horse fanatic. She's a cowgirl. That's what she is. That's what she does. I had not seen this movie in a long time. The last time I saw this, I was probably 10, 11, 12, maybe. And even then, the last time I saw this all the way through, God, maybe never, because I didn't know that it was this long. This is a very long movie. I'll let Dan put it on his scale of where, his little scale that he's got.
This one is one that Matt probably had to go to the bathroom multiple times because he had to get some refills during his take. That's where I put this.
This is and the funny thing is, this is just as long as like the Batman. Actually, the Batman's longer. Endgame, all those superhero big, like the latest James Bond film, all these big movies that we watch and we love. We're like, oh, they're so epic, that we don't really complain about the time. This is actually shorter than some of them, but it felt long because it is a drama. It is a long-winded tale. No pun intended on the tail part. I felt like some of this could have been snipped out. They could have easily done the story in 2 hours. I felt like almost an hour of this movie could have been cut out. You would have had to really get me focused and probably watch it again to really point out the parts, what specific parts, but I felt like this movie could have definitely been done in 2 hours. I think at 3 hours, pushing 3 hours, it was just too much. And there were things in this movie that there's a lot of things in this movie that I liked. There's a lot of things in this movie I didn't like. Remember at the end of last week, I was giving you guys a heads up about the accident that happens in the beginning of the movie. I remember it being kind of gross or traumatizing to me as a kid, but I didn't really remember how bad it was until I watched it. It wasn't terrible, but I can see why it traumatized me. The beginning of this film has an accident that happens with two young girls on their horses in the snow, and the horse starts to slide in the snow, and then a tractor trailer comes, and it's just a mess. The tractor trailer hits the horse. You full on see the tractor trailer hit the horse. It's a sight, and I didn't even I was like, whoa. Like that's where those $75 million or whatever it was went, because that was impressive, because I was not expecting that at all. Because how did they do that? Like
the hook in the windshield.
Yeah. Or I guess maybe, I could probably figure out how they did it. Probably green screen, if that was a thing in '98. I don't know. So a couple notes, just so I'm not continuously ranting. I had forgotten that the girl, because of the accident, the girl lost her leg. I had forgotten about that. I thought it was just a horse that was trying to rehabilitate. It's also the girl. Long movie, I already said. I loved Robert Redford's character. He was the cowboy. He was the cool character. He was the character that if I would be a true cowboy, that's the cowboy I would want to be, is Robert Redford's character in this. The little boy, Joe, was absolutely freaking adorable. If I have a son, if I'm a cowboy and I have a son, which this wasn't Robert Redford's kid in the movie, but I would want my little boy to be like that. He was so proper and so so cute. My favorite scene, I noted, scene where the horse runs off into the field and Robert Redford just sits in the field for what seems to be hours. Because it's daylight when the horse runs off. You remember he's in the water, and then the ladies, Kristen Scott Thomas, cell phone rings, and the horse takes off spooked, runs off into the field. Robert Redford goes after it, and it's off in the field just kind of chilling. And instead of going up or trying to get the horse, Redford just sits he's crouched in the field. He could be crouched too. I don't know. I wasn't there. But, and just waits for the horse to come to him, which, whatever reason, that was my favorite film, but my favorite part in the film. I really liked that because it was showing the horse was coming around, the bond, the connection that the horse had. Because even up until kind of the end, he was bringing the horse back. Like the horse had suffered this trauma of being hit by a freaking tractor trailer, and instead of being put down, the little girl who owned the horse decided to keep it alive. So the horse was suffering a lot, and to see him kind of bring the horse back from that trauma was something. And up until the end, the horse really only had the connection with him. That was something else that I felt could have been done better, because the whole point, I thought, was to get the horse better and to make the horse and Scarlett Johansson's character come back together. And that only happened like within the last 15 minutes of the movie. Up until then, she hardly even saw the horse, it felt like. You saw the horse throughout, but it was mainly throughout all of this horse stuff. There's also a love story going on, which I felt like, okay, I felt like it could have been done without. A lot of that could have been taken out. Now, I would have been okay with if it had been hinted at, if it could have been teased, like maybe there was some like chemistry there, like maybe there's a dancing scene, or maybe there's something where their heads get close, but they don't actually kiss, or something to that effect that you see in movies all the time. Could have worked, and could have told the same story in a lot less time, because I felt like an hour of this movie was dedicated to basically Kristen Scott Thomas cheating on her husband, Sam Neill, with Robert Redford, which I get that adds drama. But again, with this movie, I didn't feel like it needed it, because this movie was supposed to be about the horse whisperer. And I guess in a sense that still is about the horse whisperer, who is Robert Redford. But I wanted to see the movie about the horse. That's the movie I was invested in, not their love story that shouldn't be happening. This is a good story overall. It's one of hope. It's one of love. And I put this at 7 out of 10 for me.
You want to go or you want me to go?
I want to.
You want me to go?
Sure.
Okay, so I'll probably say a lot of the same things you said. I want to start off with, I wasn't sure how I was gonna like this movie. I'd never heard of it before. So going into it, I really didn't know what to expect. I think you're right, Matt. Robert Redford was the best character in this movie. And he was freaking awesome. I loved him. Like, the only other thing I've seen Robert Redford in is The Great Gatsby, when he played Jay Gatsby. So like, and this is like an older Robert Redford, but he was spectacular. Wow, just wow. Yes, their romance was unnecessary. And I told Dan, I screamed out loud. I was like, because like, you could see when she first got there, there was this like little bit of sexual tension. There was something there. And I screamed and I was like, they better not do this in this freaking movie. I was like, I will deduct points from this freaking movie if they do this. Anyway, so then it transitions, blah, blah, blah. The transgression happens of it, whatever. And I'm like, okay, like, it's still not cool that she's doing this. But like, at the same time, like, she's got her own stuff she's got to figure out as well. What else? There was something that Robert Redford said to Kristen Scott Thomas's character when they were talking about his wife or his ex-wife, and she was asking her like, yeah, in hindsight, I guess if you would have known, like, would you have done it the same or done it differently, what have you? And he's like, something about loving her, but he was like, all I did was love her right. And like, I was like, oh my God. And, you know, like, and I'm like, that just sealed the deal for me. And I'm like, yeah, this dude is awesome. You know, the only thing that I didn't like besides the little romance thing, whatever, I got over that, was the runtime. I felt like it could have been an hour and a half. And when an hour and a half passed, I paused the movie and I was like, what the frick? We're still an hour and 35 freaking minutes. I was like, oh my God. I was like, this is so crazy long, because I felt like we had already been through a journey at an hour and a half and a story was already told. And I thought it was told well, but of course there was still more to go. I will just finish and wrap it up. I love this movie. I will watch this movie again. I think this was the best out of the three for me, which is like so surprising. I absolutely loved it. I will so watch this again. I think your mom's name is Sherry, if she does watch this. Thank you, Sherry. This was beautiful. It was so good. I love Robert Redford. And this will be on my list to watch again because it was so very well done. And Robert Redford I don't know, in this movie, I believe he can probably pull off anything and it's believable. So this movie gets an 8.5 out of 10.
Wow.
I loved it so much.
Higher than me.
Yeah, and I told Dan, I was like, I want to watch it again. Like, it's so good. I loved it.
It is good, and it's one that I'll rewatch again too at some point. But it's the length is a killer.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, man, feels like this is the first time talking to you today. So thank you for sticking around this far. So getting into my review of this, the start of the movie, just like Matt said, I think was very graphic, very intense. I think they did an excellent job with the scenes, especially the car accident. I was talking to Kayla, it's like I didn't really understand, like it felt more like Scarlett Johansson didn't really say anything or talk about the trauma of the accident so much and losing her best friend until later in the movie, I guess, specifically with her mother, which I guess was the big payoff, was through the course of the movie and their relationship with the horse whisperer. They first opened up to him individually, like he started building that relationship with the daughter, and he also started making the relationship with the mother in a different way. But ultimately it led to both of them coming together and I think having an understanding for each other and really just wanting to be there for each other. So it did really build into that. I was impressed by the amount of horse work that went into this movie. I used to ride when I was younger. I have a lot of appreciation of what it's like to look like this horse did go through trauma, and then the amount of work that they had to do to kind of bring it back to being able to be ridden and to be calm. So Robert Redford's character is actually based off of, largely in part of, one of the horse trainers that they had on set. Apparently he was really famous for working with horses. I can't remember his name right now. And a lot of it was based on like his experiences. I think there was also another master horse trainer or something that was involved that helped with the training the horses. No, not that one. But anyways, it was just really impressive to see all the horse work there. Also, this is based on a book or a series. So I'm sorry, a book. So I know you guys were talking a lot about the love story, how it could have done without. I think so too. But in the book, this had a very different ending. So here we have, towards the end, the mother comes back, and Sam Neill has laid it out on the line, and I'm going to talk about him for a minute because I thought his performance was great, and I actually really did love his character as well. I thought as a man, really, one, I think he was doing what he could for his daughter. His wife was going through a lot, and she seemed kind of detached, and definitely you could sense some turmoil in their marriage, whether they weren't communicating well or they just weren't on the same page. And then coming back in the end, he's able to pick up on, which was crazy because apparently he missed the whole dance between the horse whisperer and her. Maybe he didn't, but look, I know that you're, there's something missing in our marriage. And I always thought that, me loving you or something to that effect would be enough. And it just hasn't been. And that really struck a chord. And in the end, she stuck behind, and she's, telling the horse whisperer, yeah, let's go on one more ride, or one last ride. So he's saddling up the horse and she drives off. So the daughter didn't find out about the affair in the movie, but in the book, she found out, and she hops on the horse and they take off, and there's some kind of stampede. A whole bunch of horses go crazy, and there's one wild stallion that almost kills the girl Grace and the horse. And Robert Redford's character rides off, and he somehow saves them, but because he feels like he betrayed Grace's trust, he doesn't save himself. So he's killed by the stallion. So that would have been a way different ending, right? And Robert Redford, who I don't think Kayla said this when she was going over stats, starred in, but also directed this film. And he made the creative decisions like, look, I want this character to be someone that people would really look up to and want to know. I don't want to end his character like that because I don't think it fits his character. And honestly, I think he made the right decision. So huge props to Robert Redford. I think this was his second directorial debut after A River Runs Through It, if I remember correctly. So if you're a fan of that, check that one out too. But overall, Matt, I was kind of surprised what you picked as your favorite scene, because it was also my favorite scene.
Really?
I feel like in a lot of dealing with animals, you have to earn their trust. And he did not force that on that horse at all. He let that horse come around. It's almost like you do with people sometimes. And I think it was kind of a mirror to the relationship, more specifically with the daughter, which I believe should have been probably the focus of this film because it felt like it at times. But to let them come to you and to build that relationship from there to earn their trust. But I agree with Kayla. Great movie overall. I'm going to give this one an 8 out of 10. I don't know if I would probably watch this again, but I'm probably going to wait a little while. Really, out of all the movies, another interesting fact, the horse from Black Beauty, or one of the horses from Black Beauty, was in this. It was actually the one that the mother ends up riding on. So apparently a famous acting horse descended from all kinds of stuff. So pretty cool. And then I'm trying to think if I have anything else to say on this. I don't believe so. Reminds me a lot of Bridges of Madison County. I know I was talking to Kayla about that, just the ending where the two characters have a bond or a connection, but then ultimately end up separating for the good of the more so the family than for themselves. So if you're a fan of this movie, I definitely recommend watching that movie as well. But thank you for the pick, and to all the mothers out there, happy Mother's Day. Super. I'm glad you could stick with us for the review. So
I have one more thing that I want to add. If you don't have anything to add,
Nope.
or Matt, I'm sorry. So I forgot to mention this in mine. I'm so sorry about freaking Robert Redford directing, because I said something about it in the text message. Oh, there's something in my eye. Hold on. And I was like, how did I forget that? I feel so dumb. Wow. Yeah. Kudos to Robert Redford, because dang, I totally forgot that in the middle of my thing. And that just makes it even more like, wow. So something I did love too, another thing I loved about this was the unlikely friendship between Robert Redford's character and the daughter. And that was really something beautiful to watch, because there was a scene too where she's sitting at the table and he offers to make her dinner, and she starts telling him about these things and she starts crying, and you're watching it and you're really thinking like, wow, she just needs somebody to confide in. And he's willing to sit there and listen to her, and like he's willing to listen like completely, not listen to then have something to say, but actually listen and understand her. And I thought that was really beautifully done, and I thought it was beautifully written. And you can see why Scarlett Johansson is an actress now. So just like wow too, because she was a young actress at this time, and I can't imagine working with Robert Redford and how intimidating that must have been. But kudos to her too, because I don't know, that just was, there was a lot of moments in this film that are so either heart-wrenching or heartwarming, but it like there's something that you can relate to too, you know. I don't know. I don't know. It was really beautiful. Oh yeah, Kate Bosworth too. That, and I couldn't believe that was Kate Bosworth, her friend. I was
as
like,
Judith.
dang, Kate Bosworth.
The weird thing about that is Kate Bosworth was actually offered the role of Grace initially. And I believe she said that she didn't feel like as confident on screen. And when Scarlett Johansson entered the picture and they had Robert Redford, that she felt intimidated by the two of them. But ultimately, she also went off to a successful movie career as well. So kind of crazy, but I agree with you. I feel like Scarlett Johansson was terrific in this.
Yeah.
I don't think there really wasn't a part that was played well in this. But yeah.
Wait, what? There wasn't a part that
was not played well.
Was not. Okay,
Sorry.
I thought you said was. I was like, huh?
Wasn't a part that was played well in the whole movie, but I'm giving it an 8. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel embarrassed. You guys rated it higher than me, both of you.
Dude, I loved it. I think it's one of those, like, what was I saying? Like, it's like a gem. What was I saying? Remember the gem thing I was saying?
Gem?
A hidden gem. Yes, that's exactly. I was probably talking about something else, because I was talking about today. Was I talking about the movie today? I can't remember. Anyway, it is, I'm sorry. Like, I have like 1,000 things going on in my brain at once. So it's like, if you just hear me rambling, it's
that's good. That's why we're together, because I hardly ever even have one thing. So we're good.
Anyway, it's one of those hidden gems, and I don't know if it got nominated for anything or what, but it really is just one of those, you know, films that you watch it and like, yeah, it's a great film. It really is. I can't say anything else other than it's a great film. It was so well done. It really was. And I'm so surprised that I liked it as much as I did.
I am too.
So good.
Like 8 was never even on my radar. Like I was bouncing between 6 and 7, and you guys gave it 8 and 8.5. And
like I said, there was things like the whole romance thing, like really put a damper on that, because that was not necessary. I get why you want to have this romance kind of drama thing in a movie, like I get it, but there's just some things that need to be left out, and that would enrich the story that much more.
I think a big part of that though was to stick to the source material.
Yeah. Okay.
Which what I understand was a lot more hot and heavy, whereas this was more like a slow burn.
We'll see. Then and that dance scene too.
The dance was pretty.
Dude, okay, first of all.
Yeah, that was
okay. Hold on.
I was like, oh my
Sam
God.
Neill was sitting at the table joking around with the dudes, and Robert Redford's just like putting his hand on her back, caressing her back. I'm like, ooh, dang. And then they go to like Sam Neill. I'm like, dude, look. And he's just laughing, drinking a beer. And then he's like touching her hair. And I'm like, oh my God, they're literally doing it on the dance floor.
In the end, he either saw or something happened, because when he addresses her at the end, obviously he's not oblivious to the fact that his wife is like making googly eyes at another man.
It's so obvious. And she's just like.
And I mean, you got to respect that in the end. Like, just again, coming back to his scene, how he lays down the lines, like, look, make your decision of what you want. I mean,
well, he told her to, like, I knew I have always loved you more, or something like that. And that too, yes. I mean,
that was his. I mean, granted, he only had like 15 minutes in the movie, but like that was his moment in the movie.
Yeah,
I also like that.
Yeah, and it's a shame too, because you could tell that Scarlett Johansson really looked up, like her character really looked up to her father, and really needed, which I guess she got from Robert Redford's character, but really needed that support, because the dad was definitely more of the support for her emotionally. And it kind of sucked that she didn't necessarily get all of that from him. I don't know, just that dynamic, I guess. Like, it's unfortunate that they weren't able to build on it more.
Well, to your point, like one thing that you said during your review was that he listened, like Robert Redford's character, like truly listened, and like the mother was kind of the opposite, right? In the beginning, even the daughter says that in the car, like, you just want to press this on us, or that and the other, want us to live the way you want us to live, for me to be perfect, da da da. Like, when the mother listens, she already had a response geared, ready to fire back at her, and I think over the course of the movie, like by the end, like she's more willing to listen to her daughter and put work on the back burner, which ultimately she gets let go of anyway, because she stepped away from the business to focus on her daughter and the situation with the horse. And in the beginning, it felt weird. Like, I almost felt like she was doing it more for the horse than the daughter. And then by the end of it, it was like, okay, it feels like she really does want to bond with her daughter. So,
well, and at points too, it felt like she was almost disgusted or disappointed, like especially like the whole school incident. It's like, well, what do you have next? And then it's like gym, and it's like, dude, like console your daughter and like don't be a douche, because like I don't know, and I understand that's why she was meant to come off that way, but I don't know, like I felt bad for her character in the beginning, like Scarlett Johansson, because she's just trying to cope, and the mother's not, and then like she's telling Sam Neill, like, stop like always helping her. Like, dude, she's got one leg. Are you freaking serious? You probably live in like a 40-story high house. Like, dang.
Well, but in the movie too, on the opposite of the Sam Neill side, where he is trying to do things for her, Robert Redford's character steps in and she feels useless. She's on herself about, having one leg and not being worth anything, crying about it. And he's pretty much like, the character comes in like, stop being sorry for yourself. You're going to start doing this for me, mucking the stalls, whatever, and you're going to be part of this ranch while you're here. And she's like, what'd she say? I don't know the exact line, but I don't feel like that's a request. And then he's like, no, it's not. Like, you're going to do it. And I feel like that was what she needed, because she felt so down on herself that she needed to feel like she was part of something again. So
there was another quote, and of course, like, I'm not going to sit here and look it up, because there was another quote that he said to her that was like, really, I was like, yeah, oh my God, I don't remember what it was, but I won't like keep going on, because it's like, literally, we're just going to keep
so watch the movie and you will find out what good quotes are on
this. See all the quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
So the Horse Whisperer, the surprise hit of the Mother's Day round. Go figure. So we had a 7, an 8.5, and an 8. Yeah. So I don't know what that average is, but I'm sure it's in the 8-ish area. We'll throw it up at the end of the clip like normal, end of the show like normal. Any last final thoughts on The Horse Whisperer?
I can't find the quote, but no, it was very good. 2 thumbs up.
It was a very good movie, and I only gave it a 7 really because the love story and the time. If it had been an hour shorter and a little less love, which sounds worse, it sounds bad. I'm the one saying love one another, but like take the love out of the movie. I don't want to see that stuff.
You can't rush love, man.
Yeah, but take the love out just a little bit and take a little bit of screen time off, and I think it would have been a much higher rating for me. But movie-wise, quality-wise, story-wise, I mean, it's up there. It's like an 8, 9, arguably a 10 without those other things that are bringing it down. So, and good job on the horse. Like, I was thinking about that. Like, I miss seeing like real live animals. These days you see like all these CGI animals, even dogs. You hardly ever see a real life dog anymore in a movie. I'm like, why? But to see a real horse, like nowadays, this movie would be done with complete CGI. You would not see a real horse.
Well, Robert Redford's apparently been riding horses for a very long time. So he was excellent for the role that he ultimately put himself into. So
go ahead.
I found the quote.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so he says something along the line of knowing is the easy part, saying it out loud is the hard part. And I don't know, like he had a lot of good things that were like they were wise. They were like that wise either uncle or
no, that's the thing, like a wise cowboy. Like a lot of
Yeah,
people
oh,
look
yeah.
at cowboys like it's like cowboy wisdom.
yes, like it was just I don't know. I guess like when I think of a cowboy, like because he was a gentleman too. Like I think of that character, like you know, all around, can handle whatever comes at him. I don't know. Tom Booker, you're awesome.
Well, couple things here, folks. I guess that we haven't said, we're wrapping it up. We haven't talked about it on screen, but we're coming to a close of this season. Now, what does that mean? Just like over Christmas when we took a break, it means we're gonna break for a few weeks, but we're not done yet. We've got a few more weeks worth of material to throw at you. But where we would normally spin the wheel, I feel like we introduced this wheel and we've spun it once. so we did the wheel one time and now it's like never coming back. But I promise you it will come back, just not this season.
Yeah.
Because we have decided that we're going to focus all of our next few episodes. We have 6 episodes precisely left of this season. 6 more weeks of us until we break for the finale, or I guess 5 more, and then the season finale. And then we're going to take us the summer off, and then we'll be back in late August-ish with a new pick. And then during these next 6 weeks, we'll also announce what our new pick is that we'll be talking about in the first episode of season 3. Season 3. Well, we've been doing this for 3 seasons. Yeah. So I started to say these next 6 episodes are geared. Stay with me. I'm a mess, but I get back on the track. So these next 6 episodes are all geared toward one theme, one set of movies even. And because they mean so much to one individual, I'm going to let that individual announce what we're talking about for the next 6 weeks. Dan, what are we talking about for the next 6 weeks?
Guys, we are going to get into the entire Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, the whole shebang, the whole thing. So we're going to start with number 1, the one that kicked it off. Going to 2, hit number 3, and then start getting Jurassic World number 2, and then the new Jurassic World movie that'll be coming out will be our final episode, which I'm super excited for because we're all going to be together for it. And supposedly we're going to see a lot of the original cast from the original Jurassic Park trilogy. My all-time favorite, Mr. Sam Neill, Mr. Matt's favorite, Mr. Jeff Goldblum, who we have met in person, which was super awesome. I think Kayla's personal favorite out of the three is still going to be Jeff.
Samuel L. Jackson's arm.
Oh. I don't think that it will be returning. If it is, it's a lot less flashy.
If they should have found a way, and I haven't, obviously no one's seen the new one yet, but they should have found a way to bring Sam Jackson back with one arm. Like, we didn't see his body. We only saw his arm. He could be walking around without an arm.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't be worried about turning the power back on if your arm had just been ripped off. You're probably like, I think I'm gonna go over here right now.
No, but my favorite character is that monster, not that monster.
Oh, one that
The
hits
dinosaur that butts its head into everything. That's my favorite.
Oh, yes. You see a lot of him in the second one.
The second Jurassic World.
That's my favorite.
Second Jurassic Park. You see him in
Part 2. In
see
both.
him in Lost World.
What?
In both.
Yeah.
Cool.
And he does basically the same thing, just runs into freaking
Really?
cars.
He really runs into a car and like crunches the door all up. Spoilers, but yeah.
If you haven't seen the original Jurassic Park movies, like they're going to be spoiled the crap out of. So, I mean, if you're seeing this, go watch them before we get into it. You have, I guess, multiple weeks. We're going to be watching them all pretty much this week, so we can talk to you. We're going to film all this next week, except for when the movie's released. So it's going to be a pack. Don't tell them. We're putting a lot of effort into this, guys.
We are. So what we're doing, because I wasn't going to mention it, but since Dan pulled the curtain back, who is the man behind the curtain? Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain, Wizard of Oz. We pulled the curtain back. We are pre-filming. We normally film the week of the episode. So like you're watching this on Thursday, full transparency, we record on Tuesday. So there's a 2-day gap between the time we record and the time you see it. So that's why typically sometimes there's news that breaks like after we record that we don't talk about. So because we're starting our break early, earlier than what you guys are going to see us take a break, we are going to record most, if not all, 5 weeks worth of episodes next week with Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. And then we'll all get back together on June 11th? June 11th? 10th, 11th, whatever that week is that it comes out, we'll release our season finale, which will be the review of the new Jurassic World. What's it, Dominion? Is that what it's called? Dan, help me. Jurassic World Dominion?
No, you were right. It is Dominion. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I was looking up something.
I was like, oh dear God, you left me hanging. Yeah, so it'll be fresh. So we're leading up, and it's be the first time we've done this. Talk about a series, the entire series of a movie. We've talked about different movies in a series, but never an entire series. We're going to cover all 6 films within the next 6 weeks. So be sure to keep tuning in. Jurassic Park 1 through 3 are streaming on HBO Max. Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom are not streaming free anywhere, but you can rent them on Amazon Prime.
They got our number, man.
Yeah, they watched us, but they're not sponsoring us, and they're like, they're not gonna make it free.
So 2 notes. One, real quick, if you guys have been following us from the very beginning, you may have remembered that I used to make fun of Matt wearing the same outfit over and over again. Maybe you weren't.
Yes.
But the next 5 episodes that you see us,
Oh,
we're all going to be wearing the same stuff over and over again. It's not that we're not bathing between, but just what Matt described.
I may bring 5 shirts down and just change.
Just change like a quick change. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna do costume changes.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, for those folks who are following us at this present time, thank you for sticking with us as we head into the end of the season. Remember to follow us at Picture This Film Reviews, or on Facebook, Picture This Film Reviews. The first one was our Instagram handle. Sorry if I didn't mention that. And Matt, what is our YouTube channel?
It is youtube.com/Studio29Films.
Shout out to our new follower on there too.
Shout out to our new follower. We got a new follower.
I don't know if it's from the Wizard of Oz, but thank you, whoever you are.
It was after we posted Wizard of Oz. We got a new follower.
Nice to meet you.
You have to forgive me. I wasn't prepared to talk about the new follower, so I don't have
I'm sorry.
your handle ready or your username or whatever. But you know who you are.
We'll throw up a special thanks thing at the end.
Thanks for watching and tuning in, all of you, but especially the new follower. We welcome you.
Definitely.
Hope you stick around. For the moms out there, happy Mother's Day. We can't be here without you.
True.
So, and that's everyone, the entire world can't be here without moms. So, I say love one another. This week I say love your mother.
Yeah, that's right.
Have a great week.
Bye.
See you guys.